Why do I wake up at 3 a.m.? The truth nobody told you. Have you ever looked at the clock? Bleary-eyed, still half dreaming, and it's 3:07 a.m.? Again, you roll over, hoping sleep will come back. But it doesn't. Instead, your mind starts running. You're wide awake, staring at the ceiling, wondering why this keeps happening, and why no one seems to have a real answer. Let me ask you something personal. Have you ever felt like the world goes quiet at night, but your mind gets louder? You're not alone. Waking up at 3 a.m. isn't just an inconvenience. It can feel like a curse. And when it happens night after night, it starts to wear on you. You begin your day tired. Your energy drops. You feel foggy, moody, disconnected. And worst of all, you start to wonder, is something wrong with me? Let me tell you this, from the heart. Nothing is wrong with you. In fact, waking up at 3 a.m. might be your body trying to tell you something important. And today we're going to gently uncover what that is. This isn't going to be a lecture. It's not medical mumbo-jumbo or a list of just try this and it'll fix you overnight kind of solutions. This is a real, honest conversation between you and me, because I care, and because you deserve answers that make sense. Not more frustration, so make yourself comfortable. Take a deep breath, and let's talk about what's really going on when you wake up in the middle of the night, wide-eyed at 3 a.m., wondering what your body is trying to say. Here's the truth nobody really tells you. Your sleep changes as you get older, not because something's broken, but because your body is evolving, slowing down, shifting rhythms. It's natural. It's part of aging. But unfortunately, no one really prepares us for it. You see, when we're younger, our bodies produce more melatonin, the sleep hormone. It's what helps us fall asleep, and more importantly, stay asleep. But after the age of 60, melatonin production can drop by nearly 50%. That means even if you fall asleep just fine, your body might not have enough fuel to keep you in deep sleep all night. So what happens? Around 3 a.m., when melatonin levels naturally dip even lower, your brain shifts into lighter stages of sleep. You become more sensitive to sound, to thoughts, to your heartbeat, to memories. And if you're dealing with stress, pain, or even just a full bladder, bam, you're awake. But here's the deeper layer. Because for many older adults, it's not just physical, it's emotional. Let me ask you something hard. What's the first thing that comes into your mind when you wake up at 3 a.m.? Is it your to-do list? Or is it worry? Maybe it's fear. Maybe it's regret. Maybe you're thinking about your kids, or your health, or a doctor's appointment next week, or that friend you haven't talked to in too long. That time of night between 3 and 5 a.m. is when your brain's default mode network is most active. That's the part of your mind that replays the past and projects into the future. It's when your inner voice is loudest. And unfortunately, it doesn't whisper kind things at 3 in the morning. It says, "You're not doing enough. You forgot something. What if something bad happens?" This is why so many seniors feel anxious at night. It's not because there's something wrong with you. It's because your mind, in the silence, has space to speak. And let's not forget, this isn't just mental. This affects your body too. When you wake up at 3 a.m. and start worrying, your cortisol, the stress hormone, rises. That makes your heart race, your muscles tense, your stomach churn, which makes it even harder to fall back asleep. And the cycle repeats. Now, some folks might say, just take a sleeping pill. But you and I both know it's not that simple. Sleeping pills can help in the short term, but they don't address the why. And if we never ask why, we never heal. So let's ask together, why is your body waking you up? Well, there are several reasons. Let me walk you through the most common and the most overlooked. Number 1, blood sugar. Yes, really. If you eat dinner early, say around 5 or 6 p.m., by 3 a.m., your blood sugar may drop too low. And when it dips, your body sends out a surge of adrenaline to raise it, which can jolt you awake. You might not even realize that's what's happening, but it's your body's way of protecting you. Number 2, pain. Even if you're used to it, even if you're managing it, your body still feels it. Arthritis, neuropathy, stiff joints. At 3 a.m., when you're still, when everything's quiet, those aches can feel louder, and they interrupt sleep. Number 3, bathroom trips. Yes, the infamous 3 a.m. urge. As we age, our kidneys change. They don't concentrate urine as efficiently, and that means more frequent trips at night. Add in medications like diuretics, and now you've got a bladder alarm clock ringing before dawn. Number 4, your circadian rhythm. Your internal clock shifts with age. Many seniors naturally go to bed earlier and wake up earlier. So if you fall asleep at 9:30, waking at 3 might not be insomnia. It might be your body saying, "Morning's coming." But here's the catch. Our culture doesn't teach us how to respect that rhythm. We think if we're not sleeping 8 hours straight, something's wrong. That's not always true today, in fact. Studies show that in ancient times, humans used to sleep in 2 segments, a first sleep and a second sleep. They'd wake for an hour or 2 in the middle of the night, pray, reflect, even talk with family, and then go back to sleep. It was normal, natural. So maybe, just maybe, your 3 a.m. awakening isn't a problem. It's an invitation to listen, to reflect, to ask your body what it needs. Because the real issue isn't the wake up, it's the worry that comes after. You don't need to panic. You don't need to fix it all tonight. But you do deserve rest, peace, comfort, and understanding. So what can you do? We'll get to that soon in chapter 2. But for now, I just want you to know, you are not broken. You are not failing. And you are not alone. Waking up at 3 a.m. is not a sign of weakness. It's not the beginning of decline. It's simply your body's way of reaching out, asking for care in a language we haven't been taught to understand. And now we're learning that language together. So stay with me. In the next chapter, we're going to dive deeper into how to gently restore balance, without pills, without guilt, and without false promises, just real tools, real talk, and the kind of sleep that brings peace back to your nights. What your 3 a.m. wake-up call is trying to tell you, and how to find peace again. Let's take a breath together. You've made it this far, and that tells me something important. You're not just tired. You're ready. Ready to understand what's really going on inside your body. Ready to stop blaming yourself. And most of all, ready to feel rested again. Because waking up at 3 a.m. over and over is not just about losing sleep. It's about what you lose with it. Your energy, your clarity, your joy. I know what feels like. The nights that stretch out too long, the days that drag, the confusion, the frustration. You try everything, turning off screens, drinking chamomile tea, avoiding naps, and still, your eyes pop open in the early dark. And there it is again, the loneliness of being awake when the world is asleep. So let's go deeper now. Let's look at what your body, your heart, and even your spirit might be telling you when it wakes you up in the dark. Because it's not random. There's a message behind it. Let's start with something surprising. Your liver. Now, I know that sounds odd, but in traditional Chinese medicine, which, by the way, is thousands of years old, each organ is believed to be most active at a certain time of night. And between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m., the liver is working at full capacity, detoxifying your blood and processing emotions, especially anger, frustration, and stress. So when you wake up at 3 a.m. and you're feeling restless, agitated, or emotionally heavy, your liver might be part of that picture. Not because something's wrong with it, but because it's working hard. And if you've been carrying tension, maybe about money, health, relationships, your body processes that stress physically. It holds it. Think about it. How many times have you said, "I'll deal with that tomorrow," or "I'm fine," when really, deep down, there's something unresolved? At 3 a.m., those feelings don't stay buried. They come knocking. So what can you do? Here's something simple, but powerful, right? Keep a small notebook by your bed. When you wake up in the middle of the night, instead of panicking or scrolling your phone, just pick up the pen and ask yourself, what am I really thinking about right now? Not what you should be thinking. Not what you wish you were thinking. But the truth. Maybe it's worry about your granddaughter. Maybe it's regret from 30 years ago. Maybe it's fear about your next doctor's visit. Write it down. Get it out. Not to fix it, just to free it. Because your brain craves completion. When you give those swirling thoughts a place to land, they don't need to keep running circles in your head. And here's another layer. Your breath. You've heard it before. Just breathe. But I want to show you something deeper than that. Have you ever noticed that when you're anxious, your breath gets shallow? Fast? Tight in the chest. At 3 a.m., when cortisol starts to rise and your heart speeds up, breathing becomes your anchored. So here's a breathing rhythm I want you to try the next time you wake up. For -7-8 breathing. Breathe in gently for a count of 4, hold for a count of 7. Then exhale slowly for a count of 8. Repeat that 4 times. It's not magic. But it calms your nervous system, lowers your heart rate, and sends a signal to your brain. I'm safe.
I'm okay.
I can rest. Now let's talk about light, because light is one of the most powerful forces affecting your sleep, and most of us don't realize how much. You see, your body has its own internal clock, a circadian rhythm. It tells you when to feel sleepy and when to feel alert. But that rhythm is shaped by one thing above all: light. Natural light in the morning helps your brain know, okay, time to wake up. Darkness at night tells your brain, now it's time to wind down. But here's the problem: many seniors don't get enough daylight exposure, especially in winter. Especially if you're indoors a lot. If you spend your days in dim light, your body doesn't get the clear signals it needs. Your rhythm gets confused, and that can lead to waking up in the night, especially around 3 a.m. So here's a gentle habit that can help more than you think. Get outside within 1 hour of waking up. Even if it's cloudy, even if it's cold. Just 10 to 15 minutes of daylight in the morning can reset your internal clock, strengthen your melatonin rhythm, and improve your ability to sleep through the night. And at night, protect yourself from bright lights. Dim the lamps. Turn off the TV at least 30 minutes before bed. And please, if you use your phone or tablet, switch to night mode or use blue light filters. Because your brain can't tell the difference between screen light and sunlight. And if you shine that light into your eyes at 10 p.m., it's like telling your body, it's noon. Now let's talk about what you eat. Remember how we said blood sugar dips can wake you up? Well, here's a little tip that's helped thousands of seniors get better sleep. Have a small protein-rich snack an hour before bed. Something like a boiled egg, a slice of turkey, or a spoonful of almond butter on a cracker. Not a big meal, just enough to stabilize your blood sugar through the night. It's a small act of kindness to your body. Because healing sleep isn't just about what you avoid, it's about what you give yourself. Gentle support, nourishment, rhythm, and maybe most important of all, grace. You're not failing if you wake up at 3 a.m. You're human. You've lived a long life. You've carried more than most. Your body and your heart have been through seasons. Some joyful, some painful. So if sleep is harder now, that doesn't mean you're broken. It just means it's time to listen more gently. Now I want to leave you with something I give to the people I care about most. It's a question I ask myself when I wake in the middle of the night and my mind starts spinning. What would I say to a dear friend who was feeling what I'm feeling right now? I bet you'd be kind. You'd say, it's okay. You'd say, you've done enough. You'd say, go back to sleep. I'm here. Say that to yourself. Because you are worth comforting. You are worth resting. You are worth a night full of peace. In the next chapter, we'll go even deeper into the emotional root of night waking, the memories that rise, the griefs we carry, and how you can begin to release what's been holding your sleep hostage for years. Healing the heart at 3 a.m., letting go, finding rest, and moving forward. So, we've talked about the body, the hormones, the blood sugar, the light, the practical things you can do to soothe your sleep. But now it's time to talk about something even deeper. Because waking up at 3 a.m. isn't just a medical issue, it's a human one, a spiritual one, and often an emotional one. Let me ask you something tender. Have you noticed that the quiet hours of the night are when the past comes calling? A face you haven't seen in years, a mistake you still carry, a what if that never quite left your heart. In the daytime, we stay busy. We move through routines, check things off our list, talk to others. But at night, when the house is still, when the only sound is the clock ticking, something opens inside us. And it's in that quiet that our hearts speak to us. So I want to talk to you now, not just as someone who's trying to help you sleep, but as someone who understands what it's like to lie awake with your memories. Because I know this happens to so many of us as we get older. Not just you, not just a few. Most of us, we've lived so much life, we've loved, we've lost, we've sacrificed, we've held our families together, we've made choices we're proud of, and some we wish we could undo. And when we lie awake in the early hours, those moments come back. They rise from the quiet like ghosts. A child we couldn't help, a parent we lost, a friend we never got to say goodbye to. And here's what I want to say, gently, with love, you are not alone in these feelings. That ache in your chest, that tightness in your throat, That sudden tear that shows up at 3:27 a.m. for no reason. That is grief. That is memory. That is love that still has nowhere to go. And waking up in the middle of the night might not be a flaw in your sleep. It might be your heart asking for attention. Not to dwell, not to suffer, but to finally release. You see, in our culture, we're not taught how to process the emotions that come with aging. We're told to be strong, to move on, to keep going. But when do we stop and say, that hurt me. I still miss them. I wish things had been different. When do we let ourselves cry without shame? Because I'll tell you this, healing doesn't come from ignoring the past. It comes from honoring it. So if you're waking up in the middle of the night, heart pounding, mind racing, maybe, just maybe, that's not your body failing you. Maybe it's your soul asking for peace. Let me share a story that a woman named Margaret, she's 72, told me something once that stayed with me. She said, I wake up every night around 3 a.m. thinking about my brother. He died 40 years ago in a car crash. I was the last person he talked to. We argued that day. I never told him I was sorry. And now, every night, I still carry that. She wept when she said it. Then I asked her, have you ever written him a letter? She shook her head. No, he's gone. But he wasn't gone from her heart. He was there night after night. So she wrote that letter. She lit a candle. She sat in the quiet. She read it out loud. She cried. She forgave herself, and a week later, she called me. I slept through the night, she said, voice trembling. First time in years. Now, I'm not saying a letter will fix everything. But I am saying this, what we do not release stays with us. Especially at night. So here's something I invite you to do when you feel ready. If someone is on your heart at 3 a.m., a person, a memory, a moment, talk to them, out loud, or in writing, or silently, in prayer. Say what you wish you'd said. Apologize if you need to. Forgive them. Forgive yourself. That no one else needs to hear it, but you need to hear it. Because sleep doesn't just come when the body is tired. It comes when the soul is at peace. And maybe your 3 a.m. wake-ups aren't just about sleep. Maybe they're invitations to heal what still lingers. Now, I want to leave you with one final thought. You are older now, yes, but you are wiser, more tender, more honest, more powerful than you've ever been. And the night, that quiet space you wake into, it doesn't have to be a place of fear. It can be a sanctuary, a time to check in with yourself, a time to breathe, a time to ask, what do I need right now? What am I ready to let go of? What would bring me peace? Because here's the secret. You're not broken, you're human, and healing, even now, is possible. So tonight, if you wake up again, don't be afraid. Just place a hand on your heart and whisper, I hear you. I love you. I'm here, and we're going back to sleep now. You are safe. You are seen. You are so deeply loved, and you are not alone. I'm with you. We're all with you. And tomorrow morning, when the sun rises, you just might feel a little more rested, a little more whole, and a little more free. Now go gently and sleep well, my friend.